Hello, freak bitches.
When I got out of high school, I went to art school for a year or two, and then I dropped out. And I was just like, how am I going to make a living doing this? And I got all my best drawings, and I went to, I think it was Cal Arts. It was like it's like a open call, like, and it's like every single animation studio, every single advertising agency. And I got there, and it's all these fucking kids with all their art, and there's really long lines to talk to a guy that like has a pencil behind his ear and goes, work on this, work on this. And I was like, fuck this. And so I was like, I'm not even gonna wait in this line. So I went to go take a piss, and I saw one of the advertising guys get up, and I followed him to the bathroom. And I said, and I pulled one of those while his dick's out. I'm like, hey, look at this crosshatch penis. Look at this. And he's like, hey, you can't wait in line like everyone else. I'm like, dude, please. And he like looked over and he's like, hey, that's pretty good. And so he's got his dick out, and I go, hey, nice fat dick, dude. No, he gives me his card, and he goes, you're fucking dope, man. You should come to my office in Beverly Hills. And I was like either 20 or 21, and I was like, yes. And it's one of the biggest advertising agencies in LA. I show up there like with a tie on and everything, and as I walk down the hallway, it's like every movie poster, and I was like, I made it. I'm fucking like young, and I'm gonna make a living drawing. Like, this is fucking crazy. So I think back then, I don't know how it is now, they would have all these artists draw in the style. I forgot, Drew Struzan, that Star Wars, the guy that painted all the Star Wars. Mm-hmm. These guys all draw that same style, and you draw the movie poster, and then they give that to the photographer, and then the photographer, because there's no art in movie posters now,
right?
And I'm talking about fucking 20 years ago, so I'm sure it's different now. And it was a Avalanche movie with Chris O'Donnell. No,
it's Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell. I think the movie was called Avalanche. Yeah. And so I sat in a room, and I was like, "This is so cool! I get to see a movie before it came out, And I'm like, "This movie fucking sucks." and then I'm sitting there watching it with like 6 old guys with like cigarettes dangling out of their mouth. And like, "All right, guys, we need avalanches. We need this and this. We need Chris O'Donnell looking like this." And I'm like, "This is amazing!" And I sit in a room, and I draw Chris O'Donnell, and
there's a poster.
Vertical limit. There it is. I think I drew that.
Bill Paxton.
Well, that's what you do. There's that's pretty good.
Is that Willem Dafoe? Who's the guy in the back?
I don't remember.
Who is that?
Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn. Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy's awesome.
So I got all their headshots. I'm drawing them. The art director's coming in. He's like, it's amazing. He starts with the compliment. Dave, that's great. Can you do it again? Like a little bit smirk, a little bit more heroic. And then not even a day in, I'm like, I hate this job. I just drew fucking Chris O'Donnell. And same thing, I had the same thought then. I'm like, how did this movie get made?
Right.
Like, it's horrible. Like who, like why don't...
Chris O'Donnell's a beautiful man. Girls want to see him. Right. It's a good date night movie.
And so
it's very safe.
I lasted at that job, when you say, like, you got to draw shit. Like, yeah. The next one was like a Sandra Bullock movie where she's an alcoholic. Like 28 Days or something. Mm-hmm. And that whole like, hey, I'm somewhat part of showbiz, and I'm working, and I'm making the good money. I walked into the guy's office less than a month in. I said, like, thank you for this. Like, I appreciate it. Like this, I learned so much. I can't do it. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, you see that line? You see how many people would die? He's like, Dave, and he closes the door. He was like, I'm gonna tell you something. You remind me of me like 20 years ago. The fucking crazy hair. You got like that fucking punk rock attitude. If you stay here and you do what I tell you, you could be running this fucking place in like 20 years. And he's like, and I was like, oh, he gave me a nice ego boost.
Down with the devil.
Yeah, and I'm like, I wonder if he said this to all those guys out there, and because I was the youngest guy there, and I go, I can't even believe I'm telling. Like I said, thank you for this opportunity. I can't do this though. I can't. Like, I feel like art is my passion. I love it, and I feel like I'm dying here. Because I thought, I could draw Chris O'Donnell all day, and then at night, I could draw whatever I want, AR-15s and buttholes. Right. But muscle memory. I had just spent the entire day training my hand to draw in the Drew Struzan style of Chris O'Donnell. I get home and I want to do my shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, that butthole looks like Chris O'Donnell's face, So I tell the guy, I go, hey, look, I can't believe this great opportunity you gave me, but I'm gonna have to regretfully decline this thing. And he goes, what are you gonna do, Dave? Draw your funny books. He didn't say it in that voice, but he's like,
he was like mocking you.
He's like, no, yeah, a little, not like hardcore, but he's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And he's like, good luck with that. And I was like, you know what? I've made it's for me the saddest thing when I see young people that have already like given in. Yeah, I'm like, that's the time you fight. That's the time that you should try and fail and try again. And then it's like when you get old, you're like, at least I tried. Didn't work out, you know? So I said, look, man, I'm going to go for it. And if I end up fucking broke or poor or whatever, then fuck it, you know? At least I tried, you know?
Yeah.
And the next job from that was drawing midgets and buttholes for Hustler. So I was like, yes, I get to at least draw what I want to draw.
Midgets and buttholes for Hustler.
Yeah, I worked for like Asian Fever and the whole Larry Flint.
Yeah, it's trying to monetize a creative vision. It's always really important that you try to figure out what is unique in your head. What is in your head, and how do you get it out?
And if you want to bring up the Chappelle Show or anything, it's like this whole like I don't want to start my own network. I don't want to start my own publishing company. It's like I'm just going to do whatever I want, knowing that it's not going to make any money. And then what always happens is because it's so unique and whatever, it does make money. Oh, that's so easy for you now, Dave, because you have fuck you money. I'm like, how do you think I got it? How do you think I fucking got it? Like,
right. You would still be working for that advertising.
Right, exactly. I took the chance when I had nothing and I had nothing to do. They say the rich and the poor have more in common than the middle class because they both, like, if you're poor, you're like, yeah, I got nothing to lose. If I get sued or whatever, like, they could take, like, my fucking toilet paper roll or whatever, you know? So, I don't know.